I was listening to a really good podcast the other day that was talking about maintaining focus and
thank you to Norton LifeLock for sponsoring a portion of this video.
another day,
Another Q&A.
advice.
Advice Q&A. Advice Q&A. Advice Q&A. Advice Q&A. Advice Q&A.
So we asked you guys on Gabe's Instagram if you had any advice questions for us to answer. We like doing these.
You guys asked a lot of like adulty questions. I think it's really cool to see just our audience kind of growing up with us as we go from like being young to getting old. Due to protecting some of y'all's privacy, we decided to keep all the questions anonymous because some people may not want to let others know that they asked the question.
We are going to try and answer these quite speedy because usually
I talk a lot. Home advice, please. What do you wish you would have done better to prep with buying a home? Great question, which leads me to today's sponsor. This portion of the video is sponsored by Norton LifeLock. Make sure your home is protected. We all take precautions to stay protected in our connected world and want to keep what we own safe. But it's hard to keep up with the ever-evolving cyber threats on our own. Your home is likely your most valuable asset, but how often do you monitor the title to your home? Identity thieves could take out a loan and lien against your home, jeopardizing your home equity, all without you even knowing it. That's why Norton 360 with LifeLock Ultimate Plus not only includes device security, identity theft protection, and a VPN for online privacy, but now includes a home title monitoring feature, which monitors the county recorder's records and notifies you if any changes are detected related to your home's title. So you can then take necessary action to protect your home. Our homes are one of our most valuable assets, and keeping our investment secure is so important. Sign up today for Norton 360 with LifeLock Ultimate Plus all-in-one membership for only $29.99 a month. Be sure to check the link in the description to sign up for Norton LifeLock, and thank you again to Norton LifeLock for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now, back to the Q&A. Next question. How do you keep your marriage strong when you're stressed? My husband and I are having troubles.
First of all, sorry that you're having troubles.
Yeah.
Stressing is never a fun thing. What came to mind when I read that was that it's really important to remember that you're on the same team.
If we're both stressed and there's like kind of, I don't know, some sort of tiff between us, we have to put our emotions aside and intentionally approach all those conversations knowing that we both have the same goal in mind, which is to not be stressed, help each other out, and get past whatever it is that's there. So approaching conversations like that, I think, is a really good mindset to have. Also, on like a practical note, if you're stressed about like whether it's a lot of work or whatever it is that you have, being really organized and then setting time aside just for you guys and like separating personal time and work time and stuff like that.
Sorry, Milo it's not playtime though.
Oh, but it's always playtime. Separating those two things and really organizing your schedule to make sure that you're not as stressed out as you typically would be, I think would help to even avoid a lot of those situations.
Can you speak a bit on money saving tips, #broke college student?
Oof. Like a lot of times when I hear advice from like people who give advice on finance stuff, sometimes they literally say like you need to find a higher paying job due to like whether it's where you live or your family, how big your household is, stuff like that. Like sometimes you need a higher paying job. So if you're a broke college student and maybe you're only working like 10 hours a week at, I don't know, wherever it is you'd be working, whether it's like a new job or more hours or whatever it is, maybe you just need to put in that bit of extra effort to like make those ends meet.
I was actually having this conversation with my brother recently. If you're like really busy at college, maybe you don't have enough time to have more hours and stuff, and so
it's tough.
Just saving and budgeting is really important. So I was saying to my brother that when I first got my very first job, I was like, oh my gosh, I have money in my bank account now. I can like go through a drive-through. I can like get this, get that. And I was telling him that if I could, I would have done things differently and like just not spent money on stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, really budgeting for yourself, giving yourself like an allowance. Like Jess and I each have a certain amount that we give ourselves per month to spend on things that we want. Like if I want, you know, a new shirt. Ooh. You look at my shirt and you're like, dang, he's looking good.
It can go into that column, and you just make sure that you don't
spend over that. And if you've already spent that amount for that month, we're like, okay, it's a week till the next month. And it teaches you patience and self-control and all good things. How to tell somebody nicely that you're not interested in them. Well, let's just kick you a scenario real quick. Oh, hey girl. I saw you over there from across the room and I was just like, girl, she's fine. She is straight 10. Ooh, that smile and those blue eyes. You want to go out sometime, baby? You interested?
I really appreciate the compliment. I really don't want to stop doing that. I don't want to affect our friendship. And so I think it's probably best if we just stayed friends.
Well, that didn't go as planned, but I appreciate the honesty, girl.
See, you just need to do that. That was totally very not unrehearsed.
That's how it'll play out every time.
Every time. I think there's a lot of different ways you can nicely say you're not interested.
Turn someone down?
Yeah.
It's not your fault.
No.
If the other person's like being weird and awkward and like trying to get with you and stuff like that. Really to have confidence in the situation. If you go up to the person, you're really timid, you're like, well, I don't know, I just don't really think I should, I don't know, I don't really want to. It gives them room to still like weasel their way in. You know what I mean? But if you just go like, look, I really appreciate our friendship, I'm not ready for a relationship right now, or I don't think we'd be good, whatever. Think about why and then say it confidently.
And nicely, of course. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And their reaction is not your fault. If they react negatively to your confident, kind rejection, that's on them. How do you invest in property? Honestly, this one is one that we're like learning right now. Like we've purchased property before.
But we're definitely going through this stage now of wanting to invest more into real estate and learning like how to find the right properties and the right deals.
Now, I will say Jess and I are very fortunate because my dad is a real estate agent and then my brother is a CPA. So we have like the finance and the real estate guys that we can like just get advice from to know if the decisions we're making are right. Basically, advisors to run things by, to make sure we're making the right choices before we make them. As we're in the process of selling our LA condo, we're trying to take the money that we make from that and reinvest that. And in that process, the advice that we've been given a lot is to just be really patient. And there's always another property, another house. We don't have to like pull the trigger right away to try and like buy things. Just be patient and do your research and do your homework. Just keep looking and there's something will come up. That's like really vague advice, but this is something that we're also learning right now and going through. So as we learn, we'll keep you updated.
Newlywed advice: date nights, making quality time special.
Ooh,
quality time.
Quality time.
What's my answer to this? One word.
Intentionality.
Let's all say it together.
Intentionality. Yes. Yeah. It's very easy to unintentionally be intentional at the beginning of a relationship. It's really easy to want to do the picnic, to do take them to a nice fancy date. It's all new, exciting. You're just like effortlessly putting in effort. Whereas time goes by, you naturally just kind of get lazy, you just kind of get used to each other and you're like just so comfortable around each other that it kind of feels that you don't need to like do these extravagant things or super intentional things. One
piece of advice I would say is know their love language, because that has really helped us in being intentional with each other. Yeah, if you can, take a night to like have a date night. Like for us, we're gonna go on a date night tomorrow.
I texted her, I was like, babe, we haven't spent a lot of time together this week. We're going on a date night on Saturday night. Why are you laughing at me, dude? And I was playing the piano while I was doing that.
How do you save up for a deposit on a house?
Patience. Patience and budgeting. If you're making this much, right, and you're spending this much, you're not saving anything for the future. If you're making this much and you spend this much of it, and you're really living frugally compared to what you make, you have a lot to play with and save. And
we watch and listen and read to a lot of like finance advice.
We read to a lot of finance advice, guys.
Can't you tell I've been reading? We try to take in a lot of financial advice. One thing that we hear a lot is like, be really strict with yourself. Like, even if it's for just like 6 months, like don't get takeout and like don't, you know, do all these extra things. Just like be really strict with it for this amount of time, and then you'll get to like where you want and what you want to do. So even though it's like sucky in the moment, if you do it for a certain amount of time, you'll be so thankful, whether that's like paying off debt or saving for a deposit. How to stop procrastinating.
Oh boy, dude, you're talking to a homeschooler about this one, guys.
We'll answer this later. I was listening to a really good podcast the other day that was talking about maintaining focus, and
sorry, he was just like going at my arm.
Was listening to a really good podcast the other day, and he listed several things to maintain your focus. The main one was to not go on your phone. As soon as you wake up or just throughout the day, if you pick up your phone to like read one text message, you stay on your phone for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, also everything that happens on your phone is very reactionary.
Yes.
Very infrequently are you being proactive on something when going on your phone. When you're like getting at your to-do list, right? You're being proactive. You're like, I need to get this done, I need to get this done, I need to get that done. If you have your phone like on and it's dinging and vibrating, you're going into reactive state where you're trying to react to things that are happening to you rather than being proactive on things.
Yes, so that was advice that he was saying too, like in the morning, if you can, just don't look at your phone first thing in the morning, because then your brain automatically goes into that reactive state rather than staying in that proactive state.
Yeah.
The second thing that I have just started to try out is this thing where you work for 25 minutes and then you take a break for 5 minutes. So you technically allow yourself 5 minutes of distraction or like procrastination, and then you go back into 25 minutes of working. Anyway, guys, that is it for our advice question.
Keep killing it out there. Keep searching for the right advice and the right questions. We're doing the same with y'all. We love ya.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this advice.
And enjoyed Milo playing fetch
The whole time.
Peace out.
From Jess.
And Gabriel Conti. Yo, I got it first try that time.
And Milo.
And Milo. Where you at? There he is. Say hi. Say hello. Yeah. You.